So we're going to need some golf shoes for this muck. Celebrities. And why they believe that they know best. Now I've got some opinions I would like to share on this particular topic. And I hear a lot of the right say it, especially. They'll say things like, "Oh, another out of touch celebrity," or "Here's another out of touch tweet from a celebrity." And I'm like, well, wouldn't you actually have to be in touch with reality to ever be out of touch with it? I think they've always been in that out of touch box. They've never actually been in touch with anything. And you got some of those actors out there. I'd say a good majority of them, like Scarlett Johansson and Leonardo DiCaprio. These folks have been acting since they had one digit to their age, since elementary school. So they have never actually lived in what we call reality. It's their own little quasi-existence, their quasi-fictitious reality, if you will. They change based on the roles. On whatever movie role they got at the time, that's the personality they take on. And I don't believe that celebrities, especially the long-standing ones, actually have personalities, opinions, or any moral compass of their own. I believe that they attach themselves to whatever buzz idea is at the time. Let it be climate change or environmental justice or social justice, whatever. Pick a topic and let them attach themselves to it. The latest one right now is the whole Ukraine thing and the whole coastal gas pipeline that's going on in British Columbia. They've attached themselves to that too, and I think they do it for virtue, to feel like they're a part of something. To feel like they're a part of change, when their entire lives have always been a big lie. One film set lie after another. Movies are not reality. But because they've continuously lived in this train of not knowing exactly who they really are, because they always have to be somebody different, depending on what the script says, that they attach themselves to these things. And you have people like Leonardo DiCaprio and Joaquin Phoenix. They'll climb up on their soapbox and climb to the top of their cross so they can, preach to us from on high about how virtuous they are and how we need to change and be better for the climate. But their blinders are so thick that they don't even see it. They don't even see the simple things like, okay, solar paneling. You want more solar panels out there? Great. Where do those come from? Where do the raw materials come from to make solar panels? Where do the raw materials come from for the windmills? Well, they have to be mined. The mining needs equipment. Equipment needs crude oil. Well, holy crap. So you mean that to get the raw materials to make solar panels, you need crude oil to do that? Wow, what a thought. That these things are parallel. They run hand in hand together. So you try to stop one thing and you think it's gonna help anything. You try to stop crude oil production, yet your entire solar panel clean energy skit, electric car batteries, all that needs it. It all needs that. That is a component of the manufacturing function. That is a part of it all. You got just complete mental midgets like Stephen Colbert saying that I'll pay $15 a gallon if my conscience is clear. I drive a Tesla. Wow. Perspective, mate. Do you think the mom that has to choose between food and clothing and gas cares about the environment? Or does she care about the reality she's living in at the moment, at the time? And it's nice to know you have a multi-million-dollar bank account, but she doesn't. She actually has to make sacrifices. I got to give my kids new clothes, but I also got to put food on the table. But I also have to put gas in my car to get to work. So now I've got to stretch all of these. But as long as Stephen Colbert's conscience is clear, not everybody can afford a Tesla. Not everybody can afford, or is it even possible to retrofit their houses with solar panels? So when you say things like that, it tells me that they're living in their alternate matrix. They don't live in what we call reality, and they never have. So they're never in touch with it. Their moral courage goes only as far as the next talking point. Their independent thought and who they are only goes as far as the next talking point in the next movie script. And that's all it is for these people. There is no real personality to speak of, any real independent thought to be heard. And you know what? Speaking of moral courage, you know, you have people like John Cena who will say some true things about the Chinese Communist Party. And because his movie won't be promoted in China or played in China, he decides that he's going to apologize to them. He cares more about his capital in his brand, the Cena brand, than he does about the tortured Uyghurs being castrated, used as slave labor, murdered for rehabilitation camps. Care more about your bottom line than these millions of people. Wow. Wow. You know what? And you got people like The Rock, who sees a video of Joe Rogan completely out of context from what Joe Rogan actually said. And what does he do? He apologizes to everyone, the Twitter mob, and says how he needs to use his platform for good. Why don't you just tell him to eat shit? That you're going to defend your friend. But you have no moral courage. People like you and John Cena with all those muscles, you have no spine to hold yourselves up. I'm surprised you can even walk. Unbelievable. And you know what? Come to think of it, why am I even talking about defending Joe Rogan? He apologized for the exact same thing. He knew what he said in those videos, yet he apologized nonetheless. Celebrities do not have what we consider a personality, do not have what we consider independent thought, do not have perspective on the everyday American or just the everyday human being in general. Because as long as that's not tabloid news, as long as that's not at the top of their Twitter feed, then they have no perspective on the issue. They're chameleons. They just change with however they believe society is changing. And this is why I think, going all the way back, circling back, this is why I think that when people say things like, oh, celebrities are out of touch, no, you would actually have to be in touch with reality to ever be out of it. They've never been there. They've never been in the shoes of the everyday American, the struggling single mother, the two-family household, the mother and stepdad. You know, they've never been in these situations, these basic situations where money is an actual problem and concern in their life, where when they look at the gas pump and they see they have to spend $120 to fill up their tank, They don't see that concern because they're not within reality. They don't see the everyday plight of the everyday man because it's not at the top of their Twitter feed. Comment down below, like, share, and subscribe.